Now you can see, Lapilus is the older and more experienced in MMA terms, but Crawford has the superior win ratio. Damien Frankenstein Lapilus is a genuine monster in the featherweight division and has the skills to back it up. But Daniel Crawford can put your lights out with either hand and believes no one wants this belt more. Let's go to the BAMMA MC, Buddy Johnson, to introduce the world title action.
Showtime inside the SSE Arena, Wembley. We bring you BAMMA London World Title Championship action. 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. This is for BAMMA's featherweight world title. Introducing first in the blue corner, your challenger, standing 5 feet and 9 inches tall and weighing officially at 145 pounds. He has a professional record, 9 wins with just 1 defeat. From London, England, he is Daniel Crawford. And his opponent in the red corner, your champion, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighing officially 145 pounds with a professional record, 15 wins, 7 defeat, 1 draw. From Paris, France, ladies and gentlemen, BAMMA's reigning and defending featherweight world champion, Damien Frankenstein Lapilus. When this championship action begins, your referee in charge, Mr. Leon Roberts.
Okay, gentlemen, you go for the rules, you go for what I expect. Protect yourself at all times, obey my instructions at all times. If I ask for a break, I expect a good, clean break. Fight hard, fight fair, fight clean. Touch gloves, back to your corners. Thank you.
So we have the return of Aaron Chalmers coming next, but before, an incredible matchup at featherweight for the world title. Daniel Crawford, the challenger. Damien Lapilus, the champ. England versus France.
And you can see the stances the opposite way there for both men. And you said earlier, Chris, game plan and adaptability could be key to this one.
This is all about strategy and tactics, Malcolm. That was the big thing. You know, we talked about Crawford and his meteoric rise in the division. Lapilus, of course, an established competitor, a multiple weight division competitor. He became featherweight champ recently. This is his first defense, so a lot of questions as to what we'll see from both guys.
Well, you look at confidence. Crawford said, don't call this a step up. This is just another fight for me. He said, I don't believe it's a step up. In fact, I've looked at Lapilus, and I think he's been lackluster recently.
Very interesting, considering the way that Crawford took out man with that beautiful pull counter, just like that. Huge right hand lands for Crawford. Super, super slick with the boxing.
He has the finishing ability to match his words. He carries power in both hands, and we saw it there with that right. And he feels this is his time now. What interests me is if Lapilus decides that he's too dangerous upright and takes him to ground, will that size at the weight really make a difference?
That's one of the things. Lapilus loves to play the spoiler, and he's got that wrestling and that physique if he wants to use it with his top game. But right now, using those awesome kicks, we saw that in his last performance. Southpaw plays orthodox here, Malcolm. That left kick is doing the work.
And it's cut the eye already of Crawford. It's not a bad cut, it's on the side of the eye, but Daniel is already bleeding, and now they clinch up. And that's where we'll see if the strength of Lapilus at the weight is key.
Well, the way that Lapilus is continuing to pedal outside to the right, to move away from the right cross of Crawford. That's what Daniel was looking to line up there. That was his best shot prior to some of these exchanges. Lapilus has read that and is adapting.
Yes, and the cut there, as you can see, the blood down the side of the face. It's not a bad cut indeed for him. And it's Daniel Crawford that goes for the double leg takedown. And here's where we might see the strength come into play when they clinch up, Chris.
Beautiful head inside shot there from Crawford. He's holding on, trying to run the pipe here. And he takes him down. Crawford on his back. Beautiful wrestling here.
And we saw the way he can finish with spectacular fashion against Ronnie Mann. So it's trying times for the champion here. As we said, the featherweight division dominated by the French at the moment, and that's a story in itself, Chris.
Absolutely, and Crawford has a golden opportunity here. I love the way he's riding his back there with that crab ride. He literally used one shin or the other to control the back leg of Lapilus. You see how he's got his weight centered down on him? Lapilus can be patient here and turtle up, cover up, avoid the significant strikes, and time his escape.
Yes, Crawford looking for the short knees there to loosen up that defense of Lapilus, but this is where I feel the fight will be won or lost when we see the strength of the two men on the ground here.
Lapilus climbs up. Great patience there from the champ. Crawford belly to back here. Can he get something?
Well, we saw before when we talked about his patience, when he beat McCann, and he really took his time there and slowly but surely dismantled his opponent. We know what he's capable of at all ranges, Chris.
Absolutely, and this is where the game planning starts to come in. Crawford obviously was happy to exchange. He got tagged, thought about pressing the grappling, and so far it's working against the champ.
Well, you heard the big ooze from the crowd. That's because of these knees to the thigh muscles of Lapilus.
Crawford, obviously, with a very brief MMA career, really. He's only been in the game like this for a few years. I love his skills. I love his tenacity. He was screaming at the camera, "I want that belt" last time, Malcolm. This is a chance right here. He's looking for that choke.
Well, he delivered the first KO on Ronnie Mann when he screamed for that belt, but he also pointed out that he's on a 3-fight win streak, and his loss, he said, was down to lack of preparation, not ability. He said, "That will not happen to me again."
You can see right now already Crawford trying to wear down that cardio, slow Lapilus down. Lapilus cuts a ton of weight. We mentioned in the walkouts he's fought at 155. He's down at 145 in the featherweight division. That extra weight cut can impact you.
Well, the thing is as well, the work on that right thigh of Lapilus will tell over time in slowing the big man down, and we know how light and explosive Crawford is on his feet as well. That said, a good chopping kick to the midsection right hand from Lapilus. We saw him do this to Ronnie Mann across 2 hard and hurtful rounds, Chris.
It's that open stance, that right foot forward against the left foot forward of Crawford that opens up the rear kick to the body, and that's what Lapilus' tool of choice is right now at this juncture. He'll either use the round kick to the midsection or that snap kick. That round kick being the last technique he threw. And he'll set it up. He's really smart about it. You know, he moves in, he fights with his hand, and then he will try to work his right foot outside the lead foot of Crawford's and then smash the kick home, just like that.
Well, the snap kick was so damaging against Ronnie Mann across the opening 2 rounds. Not so much against Crawford now, but what an opening round, Chris. They've had more than a good look at each other, and you could say that the challenger pretty dominant in the opening exchanges.
Very dominant. He looked really good, but then he got clipped a couple of times. I think that made him reconsider the tactics. He pressed the ground game, but he couldn't take the back cleanly. Lapilus survived, stood back up, and then went right back to the kicks.
And there's those kicks to the midsection, the left leg coming through, doubling up the power, then brings it up. Crawford says, no way. And then the right hand over the top. That could be where we see the blood come to the left eye of Crawford.
And that last kick we saw in the replay was that snap kick. Lapilus will either go with a round kick to the midsection or a sort of snapping kick with the rear leg with the ball of the foot pressing in to the midsection. That's a great technique. It takes the cardio out of you, it works the body, and of course it prevents your opponent from coming straight in. So it's a good technique so far for the Frenchman.
That said, he spent a lot of time defending against Daniel Crawford, which maybe the judges will look at.
Either way, both fighters have reset. They've slowed down the breathing. Both guys look pretty fresh. That was a fast-paced opening round, the second of a scheduled 3.
Yes, and again, Orthodox versus Southpaw, and Lapilus probing again as Crawford comes forward. Wider stance from Daniel Crawford this time. Looks to come in again with those heavy punches. Lands with the left, the last of 3. Lapilus, sideways movement. Oh, the big right hand as well, Chris. Lapilus looking to tie up the Crawford. He's got him, Chris. He's got him.
Crawford smashing down the ground and pound, controlling from the back. Lapilus covers up. Leon Leonard steps in. It's over in London.
Early in round 2, Daniel Crawford in spectacular fashion. Frankenstein, the bigger man, dismantled and punched his way to the world title. Daniel Crawford has delivered the dream for this London crowd.
Daniel Crawford with another win and is the new champion of the world.
We have a new world champion in the most spectacular fashion. All that remains is for Buddy Johnson to make it official when we return.
inside the BAMMA cage, our referee, Mr. Leon Roberts, called the stoppage to this bout at 26 seconds of round number 2. To your winner by TKO with ground and pound.